Hello everyone, how are we all doing today? I'm so excited to be sharing with you our first little episode for our Fanciful Fairies journal. I hope that you're excited to follow along. Now, I showed this to you when I launched it a couple of weeks ago, and you should all have your bundles, your flower bundles and your printed kits if you ordered them, and all your digitals. And I'm hoping that you've done all the homework and cut out all the ephemera bits and everything. Yeah, I know it was a lot, but there we go. Right. So what I want to take you through today is what I've gathered and the pages that you're going to need, and what you're going to print on the other side of each of the little journal signatures that go inside. And with any luck, we'll see how we go. Depending how long that video is, I want to make the cover as well. So we might have to make that in a separate one, but let's get started. All right, so the first thing that you'll need when you make one of these is a file folder, all right? So I've just taken an average Pendaflex file folder. These are available in the US. You can get these on Amazon as well in the UK. It's a standard one. We're going to make some cuts and bends and folds to it, but you just need one of those. If you don't have something like this, then a hanging folder, I will give you the measurements and you can do the same thing. Hanging folders are those ones that have the metal bit at the top that hang like that, so you could use that as well. All right, or any card really. Okay, so that's the first thing you're going to need. Then I'm going to just put this to the side. You will also need your journal pages. Now what I've done is I've printed a set of journal pages that are single-sided printed, and then that includes the mini pages, all single-sided. Then I also have printed a set of journal pages that are printed on both sides, double-sided. All right, now those are what I'm going to share with you shortly, and then you'll be able to see which goes into which of the little booklets or separate signatures. Now guys, I have got mine as separate signatures in here like that, so you've got one there and one there, and I'll show you how to do that probably in the next video, but I want to just show you what I've put on what side of the paper and how I've arranged these. Okay, so let's look at that quickly and then we can go from there. All right, so this is the first signature. Now you will see that in the journal pages you've got 4 different cover options. They're different colors and some are different designs. I think I've got 2 designs in 4 colors. All right, so don't worry about that other than just printing it on single-sided paper. We will go and line it with some more single-sided paper, and that's to make the cover a lot thicker than the pages themselves. All right, so I'll go through that separately, but just print those out. Then that you'll take from the pages that are single-sided printed, yeah? And then these are the journal pages that are going into one of the signatures. Okay, so I'm going to just open them up like this. Now this is one of the pages with the lavender fairies, and on the back of that I've got this from the background pages. Now if you've got a printed kit, I've done all this for you already, so yours will match mine. All right, so that's the beauty of that. All right, then the next page is this page with the toadstool, and on the other side of that I've got, excuse this is just a little project I've done already. This is the very soft peach background page. Don't worry about that, we'll come to it. All right, then the next one is a writing page, the pink writing page, and on the back of that I've got the rose paper. Okay, it actually goes that way, Angela. You can see by the butterflies. Right, then we've got another page like this with the greens. You could write on that as well, and I've put the green roses on the back of that. All right, then we've got this page, the green. There's no fairies on this green page, and on the back of that we've got the green lace. Okay, then we've got more green writing paper, and on the back of that we've got the purple little roses. All right, here's the fairy on a toadstool, and on the back of that I've got the green collage ephemera page, and then we've got green paper there, and we've got the very ditzy little peach roses there, and then we've got this lovely pair of pink fairies there, and the pink lace over there. All right, and then this is peach, and then we've got the purple there. All right, so that's what makes up that signature. All right, so that's everything there. Yeah, so that goes into that cover, which I will talk to you about separately, I think. Okay, then on this side we've got the other one. I've chosen one of the other covers here, and we will make the cover up as I said. And then the pages that I'm putting in here are, we've got the peach fairy, the princess fairy. On the back of that we've got the same neutral collage postcards. Then we've got this page with the flowers and the lace. On the back of that I've got this lace. Don't worry about that, we'll get to that. All right, and then again purples there to match that, and then this is the soft yellow lace, then a green writing page, and the pink roses, and then we've got these pink roses with the buttons, and the green roses, and then two fairies with the butterfly, and then that's the peach collage ephemera page. Then I've got the peach with the bee and the butterfly. That will be with the green lace. And then this is the flowers with lots of butterflies. We've got the pink lace. All right, then pink floral all around with lace. And I've got the ditzy page. Then I've got the peach writing page with the lilac on the back, and that's everything there. All right, so I hope that makes sense. Okay, so those are the pages that and what I've printed on the back. Okay, so you will still have a set of single-sided printed journal pages now. And I'll show you at the end what it is that we're going to need for this exact cover. All right, so that's that. So that's everything that you need there. As far as your ephemera and everything are concerned, that I'm leaving to you to cut out. Let me grab mine here. As you can see, it was a lot to cut out, and it took me a couple of days, but I did a bit each day. Even with my hand problems, I managed it, and I've just separated it into notelets and fairies and lace and all sorts of different bits here. I've sort of layered up the bits. So we've got our tags, our seals, and everything in there. Right, postcards and the lot. Right, so that's everything ready to go. I've got butterflies underneath the lacy bits with the flowers as well. All right, so give a lot, got a lot of cutting work there, guys. All right, so there we go. So that's everything as far as that's concerned. So you should have all that ready to go. The background pages, you've got your single set of background pages, which I've printed out. I've also given you a set of double-sided pages. I'm not sure if I'm going to put some of those into these. We'll see how we go. I don't want to make it too big. All right, so that's everything on that front. All right, the very next thing I thought I'd mention to you is the inks. Now, I'm not going to use my usual vintage photo, all right, because this is all very pastel. I actually did go around my ephemera bits with antique linen. All right, so it's a much softer color. It works really well on this. I used to use this long before Vintage Photo. It was my favorite, and I've just reverted back to it. I thought it was perfect for this. So, you know, that's just my choice. You can also do whatever works for you. Now, I've chosen a couple of the Distress Oxides because we'll use stencils. So, I've got Victorian Velvet, which is the pinky shade. I've got Milled Lavender because we've got a lot of that sort of shade. Tattered Rose is more peach, and this is Bundled Sage, which is like sage. So those are the ones I've chosen to use. Standard, nothing new, all ones that we've used many times before. And then I've just grabbed my Faithful stencils. I might use this one because it's a bit of gingham and I quite fancy trying that. And then my lacy one, I've just gone with what I have. All right, so that's that. What else did I want to tell you about? Yes. Now, for the cover here, I did go with 2 bits of lace. And I encourage you to go and look at what you have, because I didn't put out a lace bundle. I've put lace cutouts for this one. But I did use these here, and I might use the old snippet of something along the way, but most of the ribbons and things are already part of it, and I'm trying to keep this as flat as possible. All right, but you will need something for the closure, and possibly some lace here. You could use the lace cutouts because I do actually have that one in there. That's one of the ones I did. Okay, so with that in mind, I grabbed one of my pink, these are my special ribbon and lace bundles that are on offer, and I do have a few of these left. I have used those 2, which is what I'm going to use for the cover for the next one, which is different from the other one. I used this and this. So go and have a look what you have, all right? And I'm actually going to possibly look at using this for the closure. I think that would go, might not go, but something like that. You get about 9, I think a minimum of 9 ribbon and lace pieces in here. All right, so that's what that's about in my shop. And you've also got rustic ones which have more peach and green and those sort of colors, which are also part of this. But just please go and have a look, because we won't be using much, and that's why I didn't want to put a bundle together. All right, so that's everything on that front. I have got a little snippet of fabric, so I just had this, and you're going to need a little piece, a really little piece. Let me show you. That's how big it is. So, you know, what is that? That's just like a couple of inches. You're looking at 2 3/4 by 3.5 inches. So that is about 7.5 centimeters by about 9. So I've just torn it even. Okay, even if you've got less than that, you could stretch it just to peek out on the sides. So just go and look. Now I've got a famous scrap bundle, scrappy bits here. This is stuff I've just had scraps of all sorts. I mean, we're talking small bits here, small bits, and it all just goes into the scrappy bunch here. And I'm going to just take whatever I want if I need something out of my scraps. So I encourage you to use up your scraps for if we want to use something, which we might not. All right, so that's that. I have still got just a couple of flower bundles. These are the flowers we're going to use. This is going to be full of flowers all over. So I've got all the colors that you need here. So there's eight of these, I think. And then you get the 4 smaller flowers, which are perfect, medium and small. Everything and the perfect colors for what we are going to use. So I've just got a couple of these left in my shop if you're interested, and I have used them already on the cover there. Okay, so we will use those inside as well, because fairies and flowers, it sort of goes hand in hand, doesn't it? And then I think the last thing is we are going to use some die cuts. Okay, so yeah, just grab those bits and pieces around, and then we can go and make our journal. So that's all the things I think I wanted to share with you. Just checking my list here. I think that's about it. All right, shall we make a start and put our cover together, because I've got it all ready and I thought I'd be longer, but I think we are good to go. So let's make a start here. Right, so as I said, you need your file folder or your card or hanging folder or anything like that. Okay, I've put everything I need in here, so I will just take that out. My little bit of fabric. I've got a tiny little bag which we're going to put our tags into. This bag is just over 2.5 inches, so you're looking at about 6.5 centimeters, and up to the bit there you're looking, it's about 4.5 inches, so you're looking at about 11 centimeter-ish. You can make this out of vellum or greaseproof paper if you don't have a bag. All right, so that's that. I have got 2 butterflies, peachy one and the pink one. We've got our 2 tags, and then I have taken one of the pages and I'm going to put it together for you so you can see what I have done. Okay, so this is the page, one of your pages that is printed in your kit. All right, I think this goes here. It does. Right, so that's what your page looks like, something like that. You've got a bit of a background behind there, and I have trimmed that out. Okay, so if you have a look, you'll see I've gone exactly where the cream back, all of this was cream, I've trimmed the cream off. Okay, and then just before that butterfly goes like that, I think, I trimmed off there. I've just straightened it. It was a bit raggedy, but just after the butterfly I cut that off, and just where this turns the other direction there was a bit that was over, and we're going to use that, so I've cut that off. And then this. All right, so you're going to need those bits. This is going to make the front and the back of your actual cover. All right, so if you're not sure, I hope that you took a screenshot of that. All right, so that's what we're going to do there. Then I have just cut out a couple of bits. First of all, this bit here is, I wrote it on the back, 2 inches or 5 centimeters, the length of your paper. So for A4 that will be 8.25 inches. For US letter 8.5. It's not quite as long, but with our lace you don't see that, so that's fine. Okay, there you go. In new money that would be 21 centimeters, guys, or 21.55 to be precise. Okay, so you want that piece cut out, and then these were pretty easy to cut out. You need 2 of these rows, 2 of these pages. These are from the single-sided printed paper. All right, I did write it on the back of one of them. Here we go. We have got 7.5 by 9 inches, so 19 by 23. So is normally that way. I have done it this way because the butterflies go in all directions. All right, so that's fine. And also we're covering a lot of this, so you're going to want 2 of these, and in fact I cut all 4 of these together. All right, these are going to go on the inside. Okay, and they are going to line the inside over here. All right, now just this bit here, and that is these 2 pieces at the bottom, and these are really where our pockets are going to fold up, and we're really just covering that pocket area. You want that same paper. Excuse me, I've got my drink here. It's really hot today, so my throat's really dry, so sorry for the coughing. Okay, so those are all the bits and pieces. The only thing I haven't done, which I did print, is make another set of these fussy cuts, which is what we're going to stick over there. Okay, so let's quickly make a start with the base here, and we will move this out the way. Right, now as I say, you've got your file folder, And what I've done is I've measured, I folded it in half, and you've got these little flaps and everything. This is the natural fold for the Pendaflex file. I haven't moved it. And I'm just going to get that nicely rested there, and then I'm going to take my ruler and measure 7 3/4 of an inch up to that point. I've drawn a line just to make it quicker. That is 19 centimeters ish. All right, and we're going to cut everything off at that point there. So let's do that. So you can use your scissors, of course. Right, I don't need that. Okay, so there's everything there. And then all I want you to do is measure 2.5 inches from the bottom. And that's 65 millimeters. All right, I have scored it. And then fold that up. All right. We will glue it once we stuck the base piece on. Okay, so that's what you want there. You want that folded like that. Okay, and then we can close it again. So let's just close that up. Now, one little thing I thought I'd mention, just in case you thought, Angela, I don't want to make separate signatures like this. I haven't sewn these in, so they you might want to have both of these signatures as a normal journal, so you could make the same cover and you could attach them in there. My only suggestion is, when it comes to this bit, before you cover it now, at this point, I would use this bit here and make myself a spine of about 1.5 inches. All right, so I would fold that in half, and I would, how much is that? Yeah, where this line is here, I would fold it along there and do the same measurement there, and put in an extra piece of paper just to, or card even, to make that a spine. All right, so I wouldn't change the width of this at all, because you've got plenty room, look. Yeah, plenty room. Even if it's there, it's perfect. So that's what I would do. Okay, but I am going to make the 2 separate signatures because I quite fancy this idea. It's nice and easy to take one out, use it, and place it back. So that's really where I'm going with it. Right, so we've got everything like this. Now we want to start covering it. So the first thing you want to do here, shall we start on the inside, because then we can glue that down, is to take these bits here, and I haven't actually distressed them yet, and you can see now how nicely this color goes. So you only really need to do it on 3 sides, because that's going to get covered. Right, so there's the one. My dogs are snoring here. I don't know if you can hear Teddy, he's fast asleep. Right, so there we go. All right, so I'm going to get that in there and that in there. So when you have a look at it, before I glue it, you'll see that you've just got a little bit of a border all around like that. Okay, so I'm going to just take the glue that I have, and I'm just using this because I want to get finished with it, and I'm going to get the glue right up to the edges here, all the way around. Okay, there's the one. Okay, and then we want to do the same with this one. Okay, so now we can actually get this bit folded over. Like that. All right, so now I'm going to just take my glue, and now that I've got that base piece in, I want to just put some glue along here and then here as well. Okay, so I've stuck those down and we lifted those up. I've just gone and stuck these little bits onto our little pocket covers here, and I'm now just going to quickly get those stuck down. I'm very excited about this journal. Really hope you guys are too. And it's something slightly different to what I normally do. And yeah, that's always exciting for me. I'm sure for you too. So I've heard some wonderful feedback from all of you saying that you're really looking forward to putting it together as well, which is really great to hear. Thank you guys for all your support and encouragement. I appreciate you. So we've got that one down there. All right, and then that's that. And then that's pretty much the inside done, except for the signatures themselves, which we'll do separately. Here's your bone folder. Gets those little corners really attached. Okay, so there's the inside of it all ready to go. So we are now able to close that up. And let's just get that burnished. Like that. Okay, there we go. So that's done. Okay, now we want to do the inside. So I'm going to just open it like that. It lies nice and flat. Now I'm not going to ink any of this because we're going to put a layer on top. So what I really want to do is just get this stuck down. So let's do that. Again, let's just get that pressed on nicely, and then while you're at it, let's do the other side. All right, now we've got these two on. We've got this strip of paper and we want to fold that in half. So let's just fold that in half along the length like that, and get your bone folder and just give it a nice burnish. We do want to distress this one. All right, and then we will get that glued on as well. So I think I folded it to do this, so I think it might crease up if we do it while it's flat. So I think I'm going to, it's not often that it's going to be open flat like this, so I think I'll do it while it's folded. Oh yeah, I did tuck that bit in. Okay, so what we want to do is, let's get it closed. And we will get this on the bottom here. Just make sure you got your pockets on the bottom, and this on the bottom, not the top, because we're going to cover it and it's not long enough for the top. All right, and there we go. We are meant to, we should have really put that on after, but that's okay. I can cut it to the edge there. Okay, so that's what that looks like at the moment. We are going to put flowers here anyway, so it's not the end of the world. Right, so let's leave it like that now. Right, now remember we cut these pieces out already, and you can just go around and put on some distress ink. It takes any of the white away that might be showing from cutting, especially by the butterfly and the edges here. All right, so there's that, and we're going to get that on top of this piece over there. Don't worry that it doesn't go to the top. The lace will be going there. Okay, so there's that bit, and then that other little bit that we cut off, this little bit, we're going to put below there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trim that straight, and I will have to trim it again, so that's going to go like that. So let's put that one on first. I cut that a bit skew. I'm not worried because the flowers will be going on there. It's a bit skew. And then this we're going to now get onto that bit there, match it up there, and stick it on. All right. I'm going to not bore you with putting the glue on, and then on this side, turn it over, we are going to put on this piece here and size it. We will be trimming it a little bit there, so let's just measure that up right now. So I'm just going to get that lined up there, and I can see where I need to cut it, and that's there. And now that should fit pretty much perfectly. All right, I'm going to go and glue those two down, and I will be right back here with you. Okay, so I've got the glue on the back here, and I'm lining it up in the corner there. And then on the edge, so I'm just following the edge of the paper, and then now I've done the back as well, so there's that all done. What we want to do now is we'll put on our little bits there. So I've got my little bag, and I think I'll get it. Oh, I was going to tuck it under there, wasn't I? So I think with this one, what did I do at the back? I did stick it in like that. So I've got it like this. And I did actually tuck this one under there. So let me see if I can just lift this up. If not, then I can't, but we'll try. I like to challenge myself, you know. But I've only just stuck it down, so it should be okay. Yeah, there we go, look. That was lucky, huh? Right, so, oh, and this little bit as well. So we just pull up those little flowers a bit, and we can stick them down afterwards. So that's going to just sort of tuck in. I'm just looking at the angle that I put them on. That's all right. So now I want to get this on. So it's just my little piece of fabric like that. So really simple. I did tear it. We're just going to get some glue on here. Right, and then this little bit that we cut out, just give it a little bit of distress ink. I love this ink with this kit. It's perfect. It's not overbearing. Okay, and then we're going to just get that stuck on there a little bit like that, I think. like that. There we go. So that's simple enough, yeah? So this now is going to just peek out like that. I'm going to just make it a little pencil mark there so I can see where I want it to go. As I say, if you don't have one of these bags, it's easy to make. So, right. So now, this is where I'm grateful for the little line. Okay, so that's where it's going to go. And now, while that's doing its thing, we can put our glue back onto our little flowery bits. So there's 1, 2, 3. Okay. Alright, so let's finish with this. We've got our 2 little butterflies somewhere. Here they are. Okay, so I cut these from the ephemera kit. Alright, so one of them is just going to go off here. Alright, so I'm going to go just below that. And then we had the little pink one. Alright, now I'm going to put on the lace. So the way I did it was just to layer it, as you can see, one below the other. Alright, so there's about a 1/2 inch before the edge of the lace actually. So I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to get it like that. I think it's this way actually. One of these ways. So I'll get this on 1/2 inch from the top, and then I'm going to stick the pink over that. Alright, so let me do that and then I will be right back. Okay, so you can see that I've stuck that right round. I did draw a little line there just for a bit of a guide, and now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to place it just over there like that. Okay, so there we have all of the lace stuck on. It looks really pretty, doesn't it? Yeah, so that's looking like that then. Beautiful. And then we've just got to put the front flowers on, and then we're done. You can just slide in your tags, of course, and the tags I've used are Every Day is a Fresh Start and this one. So again, I've just used my distress ink to go around all of the ephemera, and that'll just slide in over there like that. Yeah. And so the flowers, so I've used the flower bundle. I've stuck in, this one I've done differently, that one had a white one in. You can do whatever you choose. I've got 2 of these with a cream centers, and then a peach one and a pink one. I've used these and these. We'll use all of them ultimately. I'm going to have flowers everywhere. And so we want to get one of those up there and the pink one. So you can do it in any order you like. So I'm going to put those over there, and I'm going to put these over there. Yeah, try and not get it over the edge if you can, because when you open it up then it's going to bend it a bit. So try and angle that one like that, and then this one sort of like that. Yeah, something like that. So let's make a start. I'm going to start with this one. Just get some, although these little flowers do have sticky dots on them, I still use my Fabri-Tac just to make sure that they stay. And then, oh my gosh, the kids are going wild. The dad's pushing them on the swing, and there's 4 of them in there, and they're going mad, screaming. Sorry, but they're having fun. They're having fun. So we have this one here. And then we'll do the same over here. And then that's the end. This is probably a little bit of a longer video today, so I do apologize. but I wanted to get a head start so that you've got lots to keep you busy. And we'll get this one. Doesn't matter about this one because even if you open it up, it's not going to flatten it at all. Now, I do have a nice clip for this, so let's just get that on there. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, if there's any gentlemen watching. I need to just cut another set of tags out for that side. All right, so there's our cover done. How exciting is that? And of course, well, the inside, it's now pegged. We did that as well. So that's all ready for our signatures. And the back, it's looking beautiful. I love it. So very excited to make this. Now, as I said, these make excellent Christmas, birthday, or just because gifts. And it doesn't matter if you're 4 years old or 94. Fairies appeal to everybody. So I think we can't go wrong with this one. All right, everyone. Thank you for sticking with me if you've stuck by this long. Don't forget to like. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you on board. And hype the video if you can, if you're on a mobile device or your iPad, I think. That would be amazing. I really appreciate your support. And if you're wanting to get any of this, it's available from our website shop, angelakerrdesigns.com. Of course, guys, I put the links in the description box, but if you want to go straight there, you can do so. Thank you so much for your support and for your kindness. I look forward to hearing from you. And until next time, goodbye.